Alright, so this is my beginner's tutorial on how to make a Discord bot with TypeScript and Illustrator. Now, you have to have a text editor installed in order to write the bot. I'm using Visual Studio Code in this tutorial. You can use any other text editor that you want. So you want to open up the terminal with Control and tilde, which is, the tilde key is right next to the one on your keyboard, or you can go up to the top, click Terminal, and click New Terminal. Now, you want to have Node installed, so there's that. I'll probably link to an installation guide in the description, and you also want to have TypeScript installed. Alright, so you want to have those two tools, and you should be good to go. I'll also be using Yarn for this tutorial, if you want to look at the version of that. You can also use npm if you want to. So how we're going to start is we're going to type yarn, and we're going to type init. I have a few configuration settings already set, so just go through these and click, just press enter through all of them. And for the question entry point, you'll want to type dist/index.js, since we're using TypeScript and it's going to be in a distribution folder. Repository URL, author, license, sure, and we're going to set private to true. So now you should be able to see package.json with all of the information you just filled out, and that should be good for now. You'll also want to type in yarn add Illustrator, since that's the library we're going to be using to connect to the Discord API. There's @types Illustrator, which we're going to be using since we need it to get the types for TypeScript for the library Illustrator, because it doesn't have the types natively. And we're also going to need .env safe. This will allow us to access environment variables so that you don't have a public token exposed. And what do we think? I think that should be all that we need. Oh, and we need Illus. So Illus is a base of Illustrator, and we'll need it for TypeScript. So press enter, and we'll just wait for it to install. Alright, so all the packages are now installed. I skipped forward in the video a bit, and if you open up the package.json, you'll see that we have Illustrator, .ensafe, Illustrator, all that good stuff. So now we want to open up Google Chrome, and I'm going to switch to this. So we want to type in, we got to go to the Discord developer portal, and we'll just want to log in. So if it's your first time, you might see a login screen. Otherwise, you can just open that and go to applications, and we're going to click on new application. Name it whatever you want. I'll just name it YTBot for now. And you should see something like this. And the main thing we want to have is the bot key, the bot token, I mean. So we want to go to the bot tab and click on add bot. Yes, do it. And now it says, oh, well, bot has appeared, and you should see a bot user down here. So if we now click copy the token, you can also click to reveal the token, but I like just copying it. And you can just go to Visual Studio Code and make a .env file. You can right-click on the File Explorer and click on New File, but personally I prefer just saying touch.env. And I'll create a .env file for me. So in here, you want to have an environment variable. This is to ensure that if you ever need to host a bot on, let's say, Heroku, or you need to push it to GitHub, and you don't want people to see your bot token. Since if people see your bot token, then they can modify the bot commands and stuff. So you want to create a variable called bot token and set it equal to the token you just copied. And I'm using Vim, which is an extension of VS Code. You might want to use it to if you want to load it. And 1 second. This step isn't necessary since I'm using Git, but if you're using GitHub or Git, just type in node modules to ignore the node modules folder. And now that's working. Alright, so now that we have a bot token down, we can start the next step. So we're going to create a folder called source, which is where our TypeScript files are going to be located. And we're going to say cd source, and we're going to touch index.ts. And let me just look at something real quick. Alright, so since we're using TypeScript, we need a file called tsconfig.json, and that file is to tell TypeScript how to compile our files. So let's go back to the base directory, and we're going to say touch tsconfig.json, and that'll create a tsconfig.json for us. And I'm just going to paste this code in here. You can pause the video and copy this down. This is what I usually like to use for my Discord bots. The compiler options basically tells the compiler what to do, and we have target ES6 module is common.js. This is what we're using to write the bot. Outdoor, this means that it'll spit out the compiled code into a folder called dist. Strict true, it just basically type checks everything and doesn't let us compile if there's an error. ES model indrop, skip libcheck, and remove comments. You can just look those up. It's kind of hard to explain. Include, this tells us the TypeScript compiler to include the folder source. And exclude, we don't need to look at anything in node module, so I just put that in there. We're going to save that file, and now if you go into index.ts, we should be able to start typing. Alright, so first off, we're going to import master from Illustrator. This is basically the base class that manages shards in Illustrator, and we're just going to say const underscore. Now, underscore is usually used in coding when we don't really need a variable, and we're basically just calling the constructor of this function, of this class, and we don't need anything else from it. So you can say const underscore equals new master. This creates a new instance of the class, and now it's asking us for the token, main file, and options. So for the token, we can use our environment variable, which is our bot token right here. And how you could do that is, what you're going to do is you're going to import .env/config. This config is a function that basically just grabs this environment variable, and so you can import it whenever you want to. So now you can type process, which is like the process for TypeScript or JavaScript, .env, and then say .bot token. Now you might see a red squiggly right here, and that's because bot token might not be defined. But we know that's going to be defined since it's in our .env file. So you should add a exclamation mark after it. What this does is it tells the compiler that this is guaranteed to exist, so the compiler doesn't need to worry about any errors. So we need a pass to main file, and I'll show you this later, but you can just type dist/main.js for now. This is going to be the compiled main file for the bot, and it's going to use that to look it up, what the bot should do. And for the options, we can put, I think there's name, and we'll just set that to YT bot. You can set it to whatever your bot name is, and I'll just do a cool ASCII display of it. And then let's see what else we need. Turn on stats, since this will give you any errors and debugging and stuff. And then you can just say client options, since this is a required field, and just set it to nothing, which is an empty object. Oh, and one last thing, you're going to need to add @types node in order to use the process. So we'll run that real quick. Alright, and that squiggly should be disappearing in a second now. There we go. And so if ever you see that it has a squiggly underneath process, you need to install the package @types node with npm or yard. So now we can save that file, and then now we head to the main file. So now if you click on, if you right click on source, or you can use touch, but I'll just do this for now. You can make a main.ts file, and this is basically our bot. So the bot is a class, which is a default export. So we're going to say export equals class bot extends. Oh, it's kind of lagging. Extends base. And base is from alias charter. So you'll want to get base from alias charter. And what this means is bot is the class and it is extending base. So basically base is this like, it's sort of like a structure for the bot, and you need to extend it because index.ts is going to be using some of the functions inside base. But what we're going to do is we're going to say constructor, actually we should make this public. So public allows other programs, other scripts to access this function. We're going to say public constructor, and we're going to say options, and we're going to say client, and this is where we grab the type from alias, and then we're going to say options, what is it? Wait, shard number, I think. That might be wrong, I'll check it later. We want a super options. Basically, it passes these options into the base class. Shard number, oh, it's cluster ID. So cluster ID. And let's see if it's still giving me an error. Bot. Oh, and that's the bot. Alright, so basically bot is the main client class, and cluster ID is what they use for sharding, I'm pretty sure. We want to super the options, and that's all we should need for that. Now if we say public launch, this is the function that is called when the bot actually logs on. So we can use this to say, let's say console.log, and let's say bot is online. And that should work for now. So now that you have these two files created, we should be able to say tsc, which is a Typescript compiler. It'll compile these files into JavaScript, which will be the thing that we're running. Alright, so now the Typescript has been compiled into JavaScript, and you can take a look in the dist directory. And if you say node dot now dot means that if we go into package.json, it says the main is dist/index.js. So this is the equivalent of typing out node dist index.js, which runs the index.js file, but it's just a lot shorter. And we're gonna do that. So node dot, and if everything works correctly, no such file directory. We're using .msafe, which double checks the variables in our files, in our .env files. So we'll also want to make a .env.example file, and this tells .msafe what we should expect. So we're just gonna expect a bot token, and we're gonna ignore this real quick. There we go. Now if we run node dot, it should work, hopefully. There we go. and if it works, then we should get bot is online. Now the bot has been logged on, and this is all we need for the main bot. Now the bot is online, it's connected to the Discord, and if you know how to add a bot to the server, you can do that, and the bot should be online with its status. If you don't, I'll show you how to do that in my next tutorial. But other than that, thanks for watching, and goodbye.